Start. Okay, because I.
Hello. Happy
Hi.
Tuesday. It is Tuesday, which means it must be time for our Tip Tuesday. Thank you for joining us at Business by Design Online. I'm Katie Sevenance, one of the gals who created Business by Design Online. We are an entrepreneurial's dream. We have educational courses online to help you start a business, grow a business, and the support you need as you grow in your business. So thanks for joining us today. My guest today is a friend we met a year or two ago. This is Cindy Gillis. And Cindy, your company is called Soteric. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. Awesome. And I just want you to meet Cindy because when we met, she just came across at a networking event, like totally you've got it together. You are so experienced. I loved reading through your bio because there's so much in here I had no idea about. And I cannot wait for our guests to meet you, or our community to know a little about you and the tips that you have for us right now in the middle of like the unknown, right?
Yes.
So first, let me say thank you for your service. 19 years in the Navy, is that correct?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your history, because I know you have done, I was reading through, you have done so many amazing things. What in your history do you feel has really shaped who you are today?
Well, it's going to be actually it's what I'm going to be talking about. So
Awesome.
I joined the military. Excuse me. And I was commissioned as an officer at 21 years old. And my first tour of duty, I went to Cuba. From,
Wow.
yeah, from Fairborn, Ohio to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. And then I served, other tours in fighter squadron and Navy intelligence, etc. But what really has changed my life and what I live by is what I'm going to share with your audience today. Uh, Something that I learned and studied in the Naval War College that
Awesome.
I've translated it to civilian community and my businesses and actually everything I do every day. That's what I'd like to talk about.
I love that because there's so many things that, I mean, we don't even realize all the experiences that we've had in the past that kind of lead to the decisions we make now, but they really all filter together and they help us make good and bad decisions. But I know right now there's so much going on. What share with us some of the things that have really helped you be successful?
Gladly. And thank you very much for allowing me to talk to your friends today. And I'm happy to know you, Katie. We've had fun. And for all your friends out there, my makeup is by Katie. So, okay, is by Katie.
I
So
love
thank
it.
you. So I will launch right in and to discuss about how what I've experienced, how it might be able to help some of the other entrepreneurs think outside the box, which is really, you could read books all day long and you could talk to people all day long, but it's what we internalize in our life path is what gives us our greatest joy and passion.
Yeah, definitely.
And so, with that, if you don't mind, I would launch in.
Oh, I would love it. Yes.
So as Katie mentioned, I had a career in the military, and I did retire at 19 years, but I will share this. I retired after I had a severed spinal cord injury, severed neck and a spinal cord injury. So I was retired early because I was paralyzed,
Mm.
and it took several years for me to regain back the use of my arms. But that was just a bump in the road because though physically I was broke, severely broke, mentally and all my passions still were intact from the person that I have always been. Is a little maybe driven, but I like to be adventurous and think outside the box. So that little bump in the road did shape me in several other ways. But what I'm
Wow.
going to share with you is, as an entrepreneur and as a woman business owner, some tips that I adopted from the military. And the background is I was studying at the Naval War College, and I was studying Sun Tzu, and he was the 5th century military strategist from China. But most importantly, every military service has adopted Sun Tzu, the art of war tactics for military engagements. I adopted those into my civilian world and then into my business world. And with that, I will share with you the 3 principles to win any engagement, win actually business, win anything. So are you ready, Katie?
I am ready. I'm taking notes.
Okay. There are 3 principles. And so first of all, I'm going to mention to you what the military principle is very briefly. And the first one is know your enemy. And I'm going to translate that into know your market.
Yeah,
But
no kidding.
yep, the first thing is about knowing your enemy. It's not so much the enemy, but it's anyone besides yourself that you would like to influence. So they're not enemies, they are just other folks outside of yourself. And for our purposes today, it's know your market. But most importantly, first, you need to market yourself. You need to be confident in what you have to offer and discover who you want to offer your services to. And that basically is the number one principle to win engagement, is how to market yourself and who you're going to market to.
It's interesting you say that. I have to say, because we just launched one of our courses that is on identifying your ideal client. And it's all about understanding yourself as well as who you're marketing to, getting right in the heads of that person. So I totally agree with that. That's something we work on all the time.
And the great thing is about what I'm sharing with you is that there are only 3 principles. So I internalized those many, many years ago. And so for me, it's second nature,
Yeah.
and that, so it doesn't, none of this has to be complicated. It just has to be a part of your core being. And how I've adopted Know Your Enemy into my business is it's my passion to bring talented people together, because my business is safety and security for businesses, churches, groups. We do active intruder training, personal self-defense. We do threat vulnerability assessments. We have a whole shopping list of safety and security topics, trainings. And my passion is to bring together those law enforcement, first responders, and military folks that have already served our country. So they've retired and moved on to other things. But like all of us, when we change and grow into other avenues, like many of you ladies are doing entrepreneur, new things, you've already had 5, 10, 15, 30 years of experience doing something else. Those experiences will never leave you. And so what I, as CEO of Soteric, I have brought those talents back into the workplace. And for me, it's safety and security. So that's my passion, is know the market. So I brought in those folks that can share their life experiences with basically everyone out there, because everyone has to think safety and security in today's world.
Definitely.
All of us, it's in the forefront.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the second strategy from Sun Tzu is very simple. It's pre-positioning. In military terms, in order to win any battle, you need to have a few basic things. You need to have people, you need to have weapons, you need to have food, it's called logistics, etc. But pre-positioning your talent, your infrastructure to serve your clients. That's what's most important, is that for you to launch as a woman-owned small business, it doesn't matter whatever it is you choose to do, if you have not already completed your infrastructure. And what I mean by that, you do not want to overextend your services, your talent, your training. You need to be very deliberate in what you are going to be bringing to the marketplace, because that is the biggest fear, is that you might think you're ready, but if you're not, your client will identify that you are not ready for prime time. So it's best for pre-positioning that I understand your inventory, that training, fair pricing, the time that it needs to be spent, and the infrastructure to serve your clients, like billing. But all of those critical items have to do with how your clients are going to perceive you as you launch.
That's really good. That's so true. And it's interesting. because this company is only 6 months old. And those are things that we really sat down. The three of us, have all had our own businesses in other lives as well. And we still run our other businesses. And this was brand new. And it's like, those are all so key in getting ready before. I mean, we were so excited to go, but there are things you got to have in place first. And a lot of people, I think, skip some of that. And that's really key. That's really important. Thank you. That's a really good nugget.
And I broke it down, like I said, to one word: pre-positioning. So when you hear those words, you should immediately revert back to, am I ready today?
I love that.
And then the third and final element of winning any engagement, which is what we all want, is the element of surprise. In a battle, it is always best to surprise your enemy. They don't want to, you don't want to walk into somebody who's ready to have you walk into, and they, the whole deal.
Right.
So I took that and I adopted it for Soteric, because in our field of safety and security, when I go visit clients and introduce topics of safety and security to most of them, almost routinely we say, we're fine. We don't need anything. And the element of surprise is when I start to identify, yes, but, and it could be, yes, but how about your insurance? Yes, how about your training? Yes, how about cameras? It doesn't matter. It's the element of surprise that you are going to give to your potential client something that he might not be aware of, or if he was aware of it, it did not take on a big significance. And that's where you are stepping in as the expert. And it doesn't matter what the product is.
Right.
The element of surprise. I love the word thinking outside the box, because Soteric Group, I launched it 1 year ago. And I don't know if Katie has a chance to review, but we've done very well in 1 year. And it is, I got to be honest with you, strictly because of these three principles of
That's
war.
awesome.
Because so many of your clients, first thing that they're going to say is, I can't afford it. I don't need it. But when you can come back immediately with, yes, you might not be able to afford it, but if you don't do this,
this is what
could happen.
Yep.
None of this is complicated, but you tie it all back into what the product is that you need to have for them to understand.
Right.
That yes, they do need you. It could be safety, security. It could be facial makeup. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter the product, but you're right. Helping them, you be the expert and help them understand something they didn't know. And you're the expert and you can guide them on the process. I think that's so true. I like the way you've been able to take your military history and the knowledge that you've learned through that to turn into business terms that are things people need to know. We need to think this way.
And it needs to be simple.
Right.
Okay. And that's the biggest thing. Like I said, we're all starting off. We all have our dreams and aspirations and things we want to do.
Right.
But if I can leave you with one more simple, positive comment that I believe is going to pull it all together. Because the other things I adopted, they're part of my core. Like I said, I use them when I walk into a restaurant and I want a good table. I use them 24 hours a day because they are part of my core being. Because I realize how important the element is, the art of war and how to win any engagement is when you're dealing with your children, when you're dealing with your spouse, when you're dealing with everyone. These same principles occur. And the fact that you have adopted them, you'll realize how much more simple life is, because you can place other people where they, on how to deal with them very, very quickly with a lot less stress.
Yeah.
But my final comment is, in all seriousness, it's all about the hair. Yep.
All about the hair.
It's all about the hair. And when I say that, and I've briefed admirals on this, and I've briefed, a lot of men, and I always end it with, it's all about the hair. And they sort of laugh, roll their eyes. And then I say to them, what I will say to all of you is you roll your eyes. The hair is the only thing we have true control over.
Well, okay, unless you're in a windstorm, but yeah.
In the windstorm, if you think about it, and this is all about relieving stress and giving you something positive, to grow on. That if you have good hair, how bad can your life be?
Exactly.
Yeah. Something positive, something you have controlled as you launch your day. We have no control over things. We don't have control over our kids. We don't have control over our dogs. We don't. But guess what? We do have control over
That's right.
the
That's
hair.
right.
And when I've said this to some very senior men, they laugh. But I look at them and I say, "How many times have you gotten up and to these men? You got that little thing sticking right up there. That little piece of hair that you couldn't get down in the morning." And I will tell you, everyone's, yeah, yeah. What do you think about all day long? Man, my hair's sticking up. So they too relate. So I say it because it's a very positive thing to think about.
Yeah.
And I'll share one quick nugget, and then I know I'm probably over on my time.
No, you're good. You're good. I love it.
A couple of years ago, a friend of mine's daughter was going into drug rehab, and it was a pretty ugly situation. And I spoke with her the day before she went to drug rehab. And basically, I said those things to her. I said, her name. I said, let me tell you something. It's all about the hair. She goes, well, what do you mean? I said, because that they are going to strip you of everything. That's what the, rehab does. They break
Right.
you down. But if you had control of your hair, you have control of something to build on. And she came back 6 months later, and the first day she got back, she found me. She said, Cindy, believe it or not, because I did my hair every day, I had confidence. I knew that I could accomplish things because I felt good about myself. And what you shared with me, Cindy, changed my life. And she's never been on drugs since because she knew that she could have control over one thing in her life that she could build on. So I say it's all about the hair.
I know what you're
Look at
saying.
Katie's hair, okay? Katie looks stunning all the
Oh
time.
my gosh, you're so sweet.
But
See, and I love yours. I've had mine short like you too. I love it.
It's simple, so I hope that these 3 nuggets from the art of war has been beneficial to your audience.
I appreciate that, Cindy. And I do want to say one more thing about this because I've recently had conversations with so many people about where we are right now and just that feeling of no control. And I know I'm a control freak, and it's really hard for me not to know all the details for the next 6 months, a year, 2 years. And I have a family in flux right now. I have 2 kids that are supposed to be in college. I know you know what that's like because our kids are in the same age range. It is really hard right now to stay in business, to stay focused, to stay even without the business, but just to stay on the positive side. But I love what you said about that because we might need to just step back once in a while and remind ourselves what we do have control over, whether it's our hair or just the small things that you can control. I can control how I react to things. I can control my attitude. I can't control what others say, what they do, what's going to happen tomorrow. But I think that's really important to realize. And there's so many of us that just need to grasp onto something and to feel like, okay, I can ground myself because there's something I can do. So for me, it's the taking care of my skin and taking care of myself. And whether that's my hair, didn't wash it today, but things like that. It's those little things, but just to be in control.
And Katie, they're not little. They're
Yeah.
huge, okay? Because when you think about it, you didn't wash your hair, but it was enough for you to even mention because it was on your mind. Okay, and that's the point of grab onto something simple, but it's yours.
Right.
Make it yours and make it a positive thing that every day you start your day off with, regardless of what else happens, I've done this for me.
Yeah.
Whether you have facial, it makes no difference. For me, I always use the hair.
Yeah.
I might not wear makeup, okay?
But you got great hair.
Always, And it
It's
makes it,
just like that making your bed, right? That's the one thing you can do every day and start your day off on the right track. So, oh my gosh, I love it. You are so full of knowledge. And in a time when pivoting and resiliency are so, it's like to be able to see people who have changed and flourished. And I did not know how severe your injuries were. And that's just because I wouldn't know it when I see you. I mean, there's so much in your past, and I do appreciate the service that you have given us. That's a long time. And I'm so glad that you're my friend.
thank you so much.
Thanks
And
for sharing with us today. It's awesome.
clients, and looking forward to continuing our friendship. We
Awesome.
are neighbors, by the way, so
That's right. We live close. So when the wind blows, we'll both have weird hair. But if people want to connect with you and learn more about Soteric and what you do for the community and for the people that you serve, how can they connect with you? What's the best way to reach you?
Cindy.Gillis, Gillis, at Soteric Group. And I am the CEO, owner. I came up with Soteric Group a year and a half ago and launched it. We've been in business for about a year, past January. And to believe it, people always ask me, what is Soteric? Where'd you come up with that? Well, Soteric is a Greek goddess, Soteria. And she stood for the preservation from harm and deliverance from evil. So Soteric, I have derived from that because that's my passion of helping people and making them feel more secure and safe. And that's what I
I
do.
love that. Okay, let me make sure I got this right. Cindy.Gillis at sotericgroup.com. Okay, perfect. And I will have that up there, and I hope people will reach out to you. And can I just say, shoot, where is it? Congratulations on being on the copy, the front page of the magazine. That's pretty exciting.
Yes. Well, yes. The inside pictures were better, okay, because my hair is better. However, it
I
was,
love the pictures of you and your family. That was awesome. And your dogs.
and my dogs. So it was a fun thing to do.
I love it. I love it. Well, you're famous everywhere. So thanks for joining us on Business by Design Online, and share this with your friends and let people know that this is a great place for you to join us every Tuesday and Friday at 10 a.m. for tips that you can use in your business process, the journey as you grow your business. And Cindy, thanks again for joining us. I really appreciate you.
I do look forward to meeting and mentoring and supporting any of you ladies out there, okay?
That's
Because I
awesome.
walk and I'm here for you. That's the other thing that I do is I do a lot of mentoring.
That's great.
So I'm here for you. And thanks, Katie.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a great week.
Thanks, you do. Bye.